Welcome to Songwriter Spotlight. We're glad that you could join us this evening. My name is Sonia and I will be your host, and we are coming to you from the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center in Brownsville, Tennessee. We're home of bluesman Sleepy John Estes, Tina Turner, and the West Tennessee Music Museum. Please help us welcome to the spotlight, Kris Acklen. Kris, thank you so much for being with us this evening. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I can't wait to hear your story. So let's just jump right in and tell me where your music story begins.
Definitely at childhood piano lessons as a kid. I think I might have been 4. It was like where the kids would step on the notes on a mat, and then they'd go to the piano after that. Did that at the beginning and then moved on to regular lessons all the way through 2nd grade. And then I was always really into technology though, even at a young age. So I didn't really want to practice for an hour every night at the piano, and I wanted to play Nintendo instead. So we moved on from piano lessons around that time, and I didn't pick up piano lessons again until I was 17. I had some free time in my junior year, and so I started taking piano lessons again, and that moved into songwriting because I had discovered a music program on a video game that allowed you to compose the music. It wasn't just loops like you see a lot, it was actually you could write in the notes. And so I got really into that, and writing instrumentals initially. And then a few years into writing instrumentals in college, I went to music school at University of Memphis for recording technology. And they had, as our electives, you had to learn an instrument, go to choir, And so I moved past just instrumentals and started songwriting from there.
So how did you make the transition from piano to guitar?
Well, now I play bass, guitar, keys, and my fun instrument is drums. I'll never be good enough at that to do anything with it, but it's fun to play on. But I started out, when I realized I wanted to write songs, I did start back on the piano, and initially in my band, I was playing the piano for us. But soon after, I started taking guitar lessons, and it started my last year of college. As an elective, I had to take classical guitar, and I was massively failing at that until my friend, who's a classical guitarist, Michelle Schrader, she taught me how to play guitar, and I took a bunch of lessons in a short time and just got really obsessed and practiced probably 4 hours a day for 2 months, and that really jump-started me playing guitar. So I started playing guitar at 21, 22. And so I have only been playing, I guess, 15 years now. It seemed easy. It seemed like I had gotten bored on the piano. I was never gonna be a piano player that had a style of playing. I tell people I'm a rhythm player at every instrument. I get good enough at it to write at it, and that's it. I can't solo yet. I can't solo yet on anything. But went from piano, got a little bored because I was all right, I can just bang on this, but I can't do anything else. And it seemed like guitar, there was ways to keep it fresh, even if you weren't a virtuoso. It's such a complex sounding instrument. So I moved to guitar and started songwriting on guitar. And then I went to bass really in the studio. I needed bass on my songs, and so I started just trying to figure that out on my own. I took one bass lesson from a friend and went from there, and he showed me the basics of how you hold your arm and how you pluck the strings and everything. But the bass really made me a better guitar player. Seeing how notes move on the fretboard and getting an ear for what I wanted to hear with bass melodies, it's kind of opened up the guitar to me in a new way.
Tell us about the first song you're going to play for us.
All right, so when I was coming home from Folk Alliance, which is always a very inspiring experience to have it in Kansas City usually, It's a conference, and I kept seeing in Memphis when I was getting into town all these billboards for fairs. There are various fairs coming up, and it made me think about my childhood and the montage of memories I have about being at the fair as a kid. So this is County Fair. Saturday morning, but nobody's sleeping. Today's the day of which I've been dreaming. Cotton candy's in the air, we parked a mile away, but I don't care. We're going to the county fair. Roll my boat, get my horse racing. Older boys running round, girl chasing. Candy apples always hurt my teeth. Give me a funnel cake and set me free at the county fair. When the Bronco pup is the healthiest choice. Roller coasters make you lose your voice. They say Rome wasn't built in a day, but somehow all these rides are safe, crossing our fingers at the county fair. And why is that man up there on stage, trying to guess your weight and guess my age? Please, oh please, give me one more try. I really want to win this prize. 30 years later and I know why I can't throw away the stuffy with the missing eye. I won it at the county fair. When you took me to the county fair. Hurry up, Ma, there's a girl I know singing strawberry wine at the talent show. If we don't make it, she won't know that I love her. I'm gonna tell her at the county fair. At the county fair. At the county fair. At the county fair.
Do you remember the first songs you wrote?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I actually grew up listening to a mixture of the oldies and hip hop and like 90s alternative rock. And so when I discovered that beat making program on the video game console, obviously it was easier to make hip hop beats than anything else. And so I started out in hip hop and I made a really like generic, cheesy, dry rap song that was very corny to start out. So that was the first one.
Not going to share that with us.
No, that'll be like 8 people have heard that and that's how it's going to stay.
I'm a little bit surprised to learn that a video game led to you being a songwriter, although I'm not sure why. Why not, right? So what else inspires you? What else inspires your music?
I mean, lately it has been other people's experiences, other people's stories, talking with friends and hearing what they're going through. Originally, when I was writing songs, I was very all about me, what I was going through, my experiences. I think as I've gotten older, it's just been more inspiring to write from an empathetic standpoint than to only talk about what I'm writing in a diary, so to speak, or whatever. So yeah, it's usually other people's stories.
Do you write every day?
No, I'm not of the ilk that think you should write constantly to become a better songwriter. I think you do have to get into kind of a songwriting groove and write regularly so that when inspiration does strike, you can really capitalize on it. But going to do the writing sessions in Nashville and things like that, and writing with writers that write 3 songs a day, 6 days a week, and realizing how burnt out they all are and uninspired they are, and how I was bringing the ideas to all the sessions because I was fresh and they weren't. It made me realize that that was not for me. Like, I don't want to be that person. To me, that whole game is like going to Tunica and pulling a slot machine, and every song is just to pull at the slot, and I would rather just make meaningful music. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, those guys get paid salaries and they're happy and can do all the things they want to do with their lives, but it just hasn't been for me yet.
Well, not only do you play and you write, you're also involved in the music industry in another realm. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I originally when I went to recording school, it was to protect my own music and my own recording and my own sound. But I actually just fell in love with the process and fell in love with doing that work as well, and got lucky that I was good at it. And so it's provided a whole other career avenue for me. I'm a front of house engineer locally and touring. I work with some various acts on the road. Kittle & Co. for one. I've toured with Wheatus. I got to run monitors for Everclear last year. Who else? The band Camino, when they were first starting out, based in Memphis, I got to work with them for a bit. And I'm also into show promoting a little bit nowadays too. I'm starting some songwriter showcases at Otherland's Coffee Bar in Memphis, Tennessee. So you can go to acklenacoustic.com if you would like to apply to be a part of a showcase. I have a separate website just for that, separate social media as well. All Acklen Acoustic.
What's another song you're going to play for us?
Don't Turn Out Your Light.
Is there a story behind that song?
Yes, but I have found that not everyone hears it the same way that I wrote it. And so someone once told me that I stole the meaning that it had for them when I explained what it was about for me. So I think some songs that aren't super obvious, I think I'm gonna just let those be what they need to be for the people that hear them.
Don't turn out your light. That's how I find my way home. When the storm ain't breaking or the fog is setting low, if I can see you, I know I'm not alone. Well, I thought you should know. Even though we haven't spoke, I still look for your post. 'Cause I'm better for knowing your lamp's still glowing. So don't ever let it go. No, don't give up the fight. I don't wanna sail a sea where you're not shining bright. 'Cause even in your darkness, you're still a light to me. So don't turn out your light. That's how I find my way home. When the storm ain't breaking or the fog is setting low, if I can see you, I know I'm not alone. And when I heard that you were breaking down, I felt for you. Often thought of reaching out, but I was never good at helping you. Just don't turn out your light. That's how I find my way home. When the storm ain't breaking or the fog is setting low, I can see you, I know I'm not alone. If I can see you, I know I'm not alone.
Are you going to share the story now that you've sung it?
No.
Nope. Well, while you still have the guitar in your hands, let's do Love for Free. I know a little bit about this song because, and I heard it for the first time when you performed it here for a songwriters competition. But share the story with everyone.
Okay, during the pandemic, you know, a lot of driveway hangouts, just sitting on lawn chairs 6 feet apart. And my buddy was telling me about how he had been out of work and he was feeling the pressure of trying to provide for his family still and not sure how things were going to work out. And that conversation really moved me, and later that night I wrote Love for Free. So there we go.
that's a fun song, even though the inspiration for that song was a sad situation.
One of my goals in songwriting is to never be bitter, never come off bitter. I mean, even if it's a sad situation or like a bitter situation, I still try to make something positive out of it, and come from a place of love instead of from a place of bitterness. Please check out Love for Free out very soon, so keep an eye out for that. I'm really trying to push this single, and I really believe in the song. So I would love it if you checked it out on your streaming platforms and added it to some playlists.
Well, okay, you play music, you write songs, you're really proficient on the engineering side of the music. What do you do to relax?
Not do music. I really love to go to the movie theater or set up a projector and watch movies. Yeah, movies have always been my escape and a source of inspiration, seeing other stories told. And I can just let go and live in the movie for a couple hours. Or nowadays with streaming services, it's really easy to just binge watch shows, too. But I find a lot of my relaxation in being able to let go from watching shows. I often drive in silence. Like the noise of the road there's so much as a sound person, there's actually so much to just listen to and like veg out and zen out on in the quiet of a drive, that unless someone's in the car with me, I usually do not listen to music in the car.
Let's talk about Otherlands. You've started a new series there, and kind of tell us about what you've got going on.
Okay, so back in 2009, when I was trying to find a job after college, I stumbled upon Otherlands, and they were in the process of transitioning from a sound person that was ready to move on. And so that opened up, and I was like, well, I'll do it. And so I was the front of house engineer at Otherlands Coffee Bar from 2009 to 2013 straight. And we did like 80 shows a year. It's a lot of shows. So at that point I got a little burned out and was like, all right, I need a break from this. And I also had felt like I had learned everything I would learn from that experience in that time. And so I started like training other engineers, and we had a little rotation going, and we stayed active till about 2016 and then took a break. The promoter, James Manning, great friend of mine, rest in peace, James. He really gave me my start as a songwriter too, like letting me play at the venue. And so I was like running sound for myself, setting up the sound at shows and just going up there and playing. I think as a community, we've really missed that service that space had provided. And I kind of just assumed like something else would pop up that would kind of fill that void in Midtown Memphis. But some things had popped up in the outskirts and stuff, but really like in that heart of like the original music community, nothing else had come up, and I missed having shows there. Having done sound across the country in almost every state at this point, and mostly all the major cities, and seeing how other clubs do it, how other house shows are doing it, and like, because I've mixed basically like your Memphis and Mays all the way down to a house show in the Northeast, so like I've seen the whole gambit of how a show can be produced, and I've kind of developed my own vision for that. And so I'm implementing that vision, and Other Ones is trusting me to do so. And so it's gonna just be kind of around my schedule, because sometimes I'm working tours, hopefully sometimes I'll be on tour playing. And so when I'm in town, we'll have shows. So it won't be like an every week thing. I'm shooting for twice a month.
So how can folks find you online and know more about when you're performing or when you have shows like Otherlands happening?
I am at KrisAcklen.com, Kris with a K. I was named after Kris Kristofferson. So KrisAcklen.com. I'm also at Kris Acklen on all social medias, and I'm also on Spotify.
Crash and Burn is an interesting title. What can you tell me about that song?
I'll talk more about this one. So in my college days, I had met someone that really inspired me, and I fell in love with them. Ultimately, the relationship was not meant to be, and it crashed and burned. So that's the story of that. But it was such an inspirational time and a really just meaningful experience to even have it, even if it didn't work out. And so the song came from that experience.
Is that a song that you remixed recently?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So back when I was in college and early 20s, I wasn't like at my production peak, obviously, because I was still a very young producer and engineer. And I didn't know how to finish songs. I didn't know how to make them sound finished in a recording, like as far as the arrangement and the production goes. So since that song does mean a lot to me, I revisited it, replayed the keys, replayed the bass. I added a lead guitar solo in the second verse, like edited everything to where the rhythms are very tight, and remixed and remastered the song. And so I just recently released that, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm a perfectionist, so it's always like I get most of my joy in the process, and then when I upload it, I'm like, oh man, I wish I could have fixed that one thing, you know, that no one will ever hear except me. But
so let's hear Crash and Burn.
We all need somebody sometime. It just happens to be your body with mine. Yeah, we all need somebody sometime. And it just happens to be your body. She says, what are we doing? But I don't know. There's a train coming across this road. We're not buckled in, but yet we're fools. And we crash and burn. Yeah, we crash and burn. And burn, 'cause we all need somebody sometime. Happens to be your body with mine. Yeah, we all need somebody sometime. And it just happens to be your body. She says we can't do this, I say I know. The walls are coming down, but the door's not closed. And nobody's leaving, we can't let go. And we crash and burn. Yeah, we crash and burn. Yeah, we crash and burn. Yeah, we crash and burn. And burn, 'cause we all need somebody sometime. It just happens to be your body with mine. Yeah, we all need somebody sometime. And it just happens to be your body. And we crash and burn. Yeah, we crash.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. Hope you will choose to join us again in 2 weeks when we will do another Songwriter Spotlight. And be sure and check out Kris online and keep an eye out for Love for Free that will be available real soon. Kris, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure to have you in Brownsville and a part of our Songwriter Spotlight. Is there a song that you can play us out on?
Yes, I will play In Memories.
Great.